This week, we talk about some totally tubular, forgotten TV shows.
And Meredith's making major Medicaid moves. All this and more on the latest.
And the Gayest.
And welcome back, everybody. It's so wonderful to be here. I'm so happy to. Can you believe it, Alex? We're at episode, what, 12? 11? 12? 11?
11. Yeah,
11. Oh my
11.
goodness.
It's hard to keep track anymore because now we put out 3 episodes a week. So, like,
So, like-
according to our Spotify stats, we're at episode 100 or more. We've
Already?
according to our fucking Spotify stats, we're at God, how many episodes do we have out according to
At least 12.
yeah, but we've got in total, I don't even know. I can't even remember.
I don't know either.
Either way,
Either
welcome,
way, we're here.
welcome back. Hi, hello. We're here. We are ready. It's the latest and the gayest, and this is our show. Welcome.
Hi, with me, Josh, and my other host, Alex.
Hi, hello.
We
It's me.
keep forgetting to tell the people our names. Even though we're supposed to be doing that.
Oh God.
I keep getting yelled at by management.
You know what's funny? I think I'm on such a. I've been drinking probably more caffeine than I should be nowadays, but now I'm in this phase where I'm just so tired in the morning that I feel like I'm not getting enough sleep, and my natural response is just fix the problem with caffeine. But then I'm having too much caffeine, and then my body is like, "What are you doing?" And then I wake up the next morning with a caffeine headache. Either that or I'm getting an allergy headache because the allergies are back.
The allergies are popping off. I literally, so I went out last night and I went to get into my car with my friend to go get breakfast, and my car was covered in a green film.
Oh
And
yeah,
despicable.
Oh, absolutely. I fucking the area where I live is near a forest. It's near a river. So pollen is aplenty.
Pollen
And
aplenty.
it is just everywhere. It's so bad. Like I can, and luckily that's why I keep this episode is not sponsored by Flonase, but Flonase, if you would like to reach out, I keep a little thing of Flonase, the nasal spray, in my bag, just for funsies. No, yeah, just it's what I do instead of poppers.
Oh my god!
Instead of doing poppers, I just snort allergy spray. Yeah, exactly.
Wait. Whoa, you just I don't
Whoa.
know. No, because your audio got weird for a second. And I was like, oh wow. But no, you're in the club and at when was it Cuff It goes into is it Cuff It? Wait. Yeah, Cuff It into Energy. When that transition hits, you take the shot of Flonase.
Instead of pulling out the Rush or Jungle Juice, we pull out a thing of fucking Flonase nasal mist.
And he's I can smell and breathe so easily now.
I can smell all the vodka cranberries.
Actually, I've been a vodka Red Bull girly recently.
Have you really?
Yeah, I've been getting into Red Bull. I don't know what this.
See, I don't know if I have
third Red Bull.
I don't know if I have that kind of chaotic energy to do a vodka Red Bull. I feel like vodka Red Bulls are you're gonna get fucked up, and that's the entire point.
That's me. I'm here to get fucked. I'm here to have a good time at all costs.
Oh my god.
And the thing I
It's
loved about it, though, is because you get like your little like cup of vodka Red Bull, and you also get
right.
a little Red Bull on the side that you just refill
Oh
it.
yeah, no, and you can top yourself off as you go
Hmm.
along. Yeah. And then
And
if the
I,
bartender like makes it strong, then you have
which
like
every
two
gay bar
drinks.
is like that, pretty much.
Hey. Yeah. No, I did well, I work at a straight bar, but like I know. The
A
other
drinking
night
bar.
so the day that we're recording this, um the previous day on Saturday was the Kentucky Derby,
It was.
and
Who won?
we I have no fucking idea.
Okay.
Um, it's a big deal at the bar that I work at, and everybody dresses up in like Kentucky Derby attire. So like a lot of
Now what is Kentucky Derby attire?
so the ladies, a lot of the I mean some of them just came in like their regular work clothes, but we had a few of our servers who were dressed in like big poofy like southern woman dresses with like the big dresses with like the floral patterns, and then one of them brought like this enormous hat with like flowers and fabric, and like it was a whole get up and pearls and the whole deal. It was fabulous.
Mm, slay.
And I apparently was the only guy who wanted to take things seriously because the other men like wouldn't be caught dead in something like that. I wore a pink short sleeve collared shirt with a bow tie and then pink shorts to match. So,
Cute.
because apparently, like traditional men's attire for I looked it up for the Kentucky Derby is like very like a lot of pastels and a lot of like bright colors is what the men seem to wear for that type of stuff. So it was either I was either going to do like all blue or all pink was like my options. And of course I had to choose pink.
Yeah, pink was the only option, really.
Pussy pink.
Pussy
But
poppin' pink.
but apparently I was the only guy taking it seriously, but whatever.
The only person here with any respect. Also, like, what was just happened? I mean, maybe we'll talk about it in like the pop culture rundown. But I guess I guess Prince
Oh
what's his
yeah,
name?
King Charles.
King, what's his face?
Yeah, King Charles. He's now he had his coronation ceremony over the weekend.
With his nasty little sausage fingers, yeah.
Yeah, with the scheming and plotting little Miss Camila.
I don't know what's going on with
With
her.
Camilla, it because it
I don't know about no royal
I
family.
will forever die on the hill that it should be Diana up there. It should be Diana. She was the Princess of Wales. She was the people's princess. Everybody knows Princess Diana was the girl.
She was that girl, yeah.
Princess
She was pretty
Di.
great.
She truly was that
She
girl. But
Who was she
fucking
married to that she divorced? It was
Charles and Diana were married, but then and they had Prince Harry and Prince William. But then Charles had an affair with Camilla, who is now the queen, after the coronation, and they got divorced, and then Diana was killed.
mm,
And then Charles, oh my god, totally just knocked over my
you
coffee
going
cup.
through. Oh
Um,
no.
and then Charles and Camilla got like officially married. But they weren't officially king and queen, obviously, until recently when after Lizzie passed, and now,
Took forever. Like Queen Elizabeth,
what?
Queen Elizabeth dying's like old news. Like who
Yeah,
cares?
no,
Took
I
forever
think
to
it's like, yeah, it was more of a thing of the past, really, but um I think with her, I don't know how extensive the the process is for appointing like a new king and queen, but I mean Lizzie was there for quite a while, so I have no fucking idea. But either way, Charles, like, you know, Not that I care. Congrats, I guess, but I mean, we did get to see, because I will say this, because of his coronation, we did get a wonderful video of Katy Perry
Looking for a seat.
looking absolutely perturbed at the coronation. Like she couldn't have given less of a shit
Why
about
was
what
she
was
there?
who fucking there were a lot of celebrities. Well, I don't even know if I want to say like a lot of celebrities. It was like Katy Perry,
I wouldn't call them celebrities.
who was kind of like the, not to like throw in a pun here, but the dark horse of the group. Um, Neil deGrasse Tyson for some reason,
Okay.
which I guess you got to have a few intellectuals. Um, and then like Dame Edna, not the Dame Edna that we talked about, previously. She obviously is dead, but Dame Maggie Smith, Dame Judy Dench, all the dames, they were there.
So what makes you a dame?
I don't know the qualifications for being considered a dame, but I know there's like a whole process you have to go through to get appointed to be a dame. But I know the queen, or the king and queen, like they choose whoever, like, is gonna be the next like dame. But I guess you have to have like a really extensive career to even be considered for it. I
A
don't
career in
know the
anything?
whole. I
Or
don't even. That's the thing. I don't even know like the whole process. Like all I know is that Maggie Smith and Judy Dench and Edna something, they're like all dames, but they were actresses and they've had very extensive careers. So I don't know. Maybe you just need to act for a really long time. Who knows?
I want to be a dame. Actually, no, I don't. I
But
don't like the British.
I was gonna say that
I
was.
don't want that British ass title.
I was gonna say like that's. I wouldn't expect that for a career path for you, but you.
What's the American version of a dame? The Kardashian?
I'll get appointed to the Kardashians. Even if you're born into the family, you're not considered a true Kardashian until you have to go through the ceremony. You have to get like,
Ceremony. A
yeah,
Kardashian coronation. Coronation with
Chris
a K.
like knights you with a bottle of vodka. Kylie like lines your lips with like her lip kit and stuff
Hmm.
and her makeup. And Kim like puts you in some Skims and they give you like a BBL and then
Hmm.
it's like, all right, you're ready.
You're ready. And
Now you're a
then
true Kardashian.
you marry a rapper or a basketball player or something.
Yeah, there you go. Just marry somebody famous. That's
Hmm.
all. That's all it really takes. But speaking of marrying famous people, let's take a break.
Take a break.
And welcome back. And now it's time to discuss, deliberate, and dissect some deciduous and delicious, or not
Deciduous is a
so
type of
delicious.
tree.
Deciduous?
Deciduous is a type of tree.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I mean, maybe it is, but deciduous, I'm pretty sure is a word, but like not a tree. I don't know. Look,
Deciduous of a tree or shrub shedding its leaves annually,
I,
denoting the milk teeth of a mammal, which are
I
yeah.
never claimed to be a descendant of Noah Webster. Okay, let me make that perfectly clear. But while that
Deciduous.
happened, um,
Anyways,
let's
we're getting into the
let,
news.
let's get into some queer quandaries.
Yeah.
And now let's get into some news. So, recently, Maryland Governor Wes Moore has signed a bill into law guaranteeing Medicaid coverage for gender affirming procedures.
Slay.
Moore, who's a Democrat, signed the bill this past Wednesday, along with several other measures, including legislation protecting access to abortion in the state. Senate Bill 460, the Trans Health Equality Act, requires Maryland medical assistance programs, uh, Maryland Medical Assistance Program, the state's Medicaid program, to cover medically necessary gender affirming care in a non discriminatory manner. The program may not issue a adverse benefit determination, that is, deny coverage, unless a healthcare provider with experience prescribing or delivering gender affirming care has reviewed, confirmed the appropriateness for determination, according to the state.
Cool.
Medicaid is a joint federal state program providing health insurance for low income Americans. The Maryland legislation comes at a time when conservative states are banning Medicaid coverage of gender affirming procedures or just banning procedures for minors in general, as we know, because we've been talking about this for quite a while here on the
Quite a
show.
while. Quite a while.
Oh, yes. According to the Associated Press, in our state, no one should ever have to justify their humanity, said Moore. In our state, no one should have to justify their own humanness, and that's what the Trans Health Equality Act is all about. And it's the legislation that we need. On the
Right.
abortion front, he signed a bill protecting Marylanders from punishment related to abortion bans in other states. They cannot be forced to give testimony or provide evidence in another state in cases involving an alleged violation of that state's abortion law, according to the governor's office. He also signed a bill declaring a right to reproductive care, one protecting the privacy of certain information about this care, and one requiring public colleges and universities to develop and implement a plan for this care, including access to contraceptives and abortion medications. So, go Maryland. Woo. We stand, we snap.
Yay,
Go.
Maryland.
This is a very refreshing change of pace
I was
from.
gonna say we're keeping it positive today, or
I
for
was
right
gonna
now at least.
say it's something finally starting off with not like something incredibly depressing,
Yeah, no. I've
which
been looking
is
at like
our usual MO here.
I feel so bad too because we were talking shit about kids last week, and I was looking through the news, and a lot of the articles were like, "Yeah, gay kids are gonna start killing themselves," and I'm like not even like
Yeah.
I'm not even being hyperbolic. There's like articles like saying expect LGBTQ suicides to like spike, and I'm like, well,
Mm.
shit,
Yeah.
shit. It's getting hard on these streets, but
Yeah. No, absolutely.
luckily, if you're facing adversity in Nashua, New Hampshire, they're opening a resource center for LGBTQ individuals, and it's gonna be like I think like a food bank, and like they're gonna have some take-home HIV testing kits.
Oh,
It's
fierce.
it's just it's a resource center for like LGBTQ people, which is like
Nice.
pretty cool. In New Hampshire, like I mean, I don't know anyone in New Hampshire. I don't know where New Hampshire. I think it's like up north. I
I
think
only
it's to the
know.
left.
The only thing I know about New Hampshire is Lance has some relatives that live in New Hampshire, but other than that, I know nothing about the state.
Me neither. But apparently Nashua has a LGBT. It's called the Pride Room. And it's had an
Okay.
online presence for a while, but it is now finally having a what's it called? A physical location.
Okay.
And so they're just offering like general communal support. Like I said, support groups, food pantry, home testings
Right.
for HIV, and anything else. So yeah, if you're in Nashua, New Hampshire, shut the hell up. So
Cheers.
can we not be doing this? The enough of this.
Oh, can
My phone
we?
is going off.
I
Because it was like the article like has an ad in it, and it like went off.
Your
Maybe
phone
not
is popping off.
in the
That
worst
phone
way.
go off, Android.
Go off,
Um
Nick.
anyway, recently this one is like a little bit more depressing, but like it's whatever.
Mm,
Unfortunately, we can't always keep it positive.
no, we can't.
We gotta take the good with the bad. Recently, so y'all know about Miss Zoe Zephyr, who's a Democrat in the Montana Senate, or the state house. She recently, recently she was banned from the Montana State House last week, and she's now suing the state and its legislative leaders to regain entry on Monday. Her
Mm,
lawsuit, filed with the American Civil Liberties Union of Montana and several constituents, also seek a temporary restraining order barring Republican lawmakers from removing her legislative privileges pending the court's judgment. After receiving backlash from Republican legislators over her opposition to a bill restricting transgender minors' access to gender affirming medical care, Zephyr was barred from the House floor and gallery last week. During the debate, she said anyone voting in favor of the bill would have their hands in blood. Republicans took exception to the remark and demanded an apology from Zephyr, telling the advocate she would refuse to give because none was warranted. The Republican Speaker of the Montana House refused to allow Zephyr to speak on any bill until she apologized. Her supporters entered the chamber gallery last Monday chanting, "Let her speak," and several of them were arrested. On Wednesday, Republicans voted to expel her from the floor and gallery of the body, regulating, regulating her to remote work only. According to Zephyr, this effort by the House leadership to silence me and my constituents is a disturbing and terrifying affront to democracy itself. House leadership, especially, and directly targeted me and my district because I dared to give voice to the values and needs of transgender people like myself. She also said, by doing so, they've denied me my own rights under the Constitution, and more importantly, the rights of my constituents to a just representation in their own government. The Montana State House is the people's house, not Speaker Rager's. And I'm determined to defend the right of the people to have their voices heard. Now, this was especially intense because Speaker the state of Montana House Speaker Matt Rager, and House Sergeant Arms Bradley Murfitt, however you say that name, are all named as defendants in the lawsuit. But so it's gonna be quite the thing because this is just this like this is again this it seems so targeted, like
mm,
specifically. And this is, another perfect example because they're literally denying rights to someone within the state, like government.
mm.
So it's like, what the fuck?
It is kind of crazy. And a couple things about I think because it was like last week when she filed the lawsuit. I think the judge actually rejected the bid for like the judge just said no.
Yeah,
They
I
like didn't even hear it. But
they yeah,
it's bad. It's and also it's Minnesota, right? They're uh
Montana.
Montana, sorry. Montana's legislative session is ended, so
Oh,
hopefully
really?
next session, yeah.
Okay.
But on the bright side, I'm pretty sure that Zoe is getting married. They proposed to their girlfriend
Yes,
Erin.
I did see that. That was
So
cool.
congratulations, Zoe's effort. Love it.
Congratulations.
Uh, glad you have good things going on. And also, they tried to people
Mm.
tried to swat them, which is like disgusting. Do you know
Hmm.
about swatting?
I've heard about it, but I don't know like the full tea.
Basically, you like anonymously report someone for like either
Mm.
being a danger to themselves or the people. Like, oh, this person
Yep.
is like trying to kill themselves, and they
Okay.
basically sent a team like people get you to stop doing that. It's
Mm,
a very dramatic response. So it's awful. And they people
yeah.
attempted to do it. Luckily, the responders were able to identify it as like a hoax, so it didn't
Right.
end up getting. But like it's nasty.
Yeah.
Um, but congratulations on your engagement. Um,
Yeah.
last thing I'll talk about a lot of a lot of news outlets are reporting on that Saudi Arabia has on like some kind of like tourist website that they are accepting to LGBTQ tourists,
Really?
and people have been giving major side eye to Saudi Arabia and all these like news outlets reporting on it because it really ignores all the dangers and anti-LGBTQ laws that are in
Currently
Saudi
in
Arabia.
place there, yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I'm pretty
there's a
sure it's
lot
like
of them. There's a lot of them. It's
it's like
like,
a criminal offense to
oh, absolutely. But they're
engage
cool.
in.
Yeah, but they're cool with the tourists.
That's the thing that's weird because it's either they're not and they're just lying, or
They're
they just want
just,
to make money.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
And then like the reading I did do, I think it was this article done by CNN. Um, it was talking about how gay people tend to spend more money when they're tourists than straight people.
Hmm.
So having gay people come to your country is like very profitable.
Yeah.
So
No, they want to be able to
it's
take advantage
suspicious.
of a system that has kind of been like stereotyped
Hmm.
for a while. So I
Gay
think
dollar is very powerful.
there's yeah. This is this is the gay agenda at work here, people.
But like yes, but no. It's this. It's gonna
The
sound weird,
gay.
but I'm gonna bring it up again. It does kind of remind me of like the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light thing because it's like this
Mm.
weird virtue signaling
Yeah, Bud Light.
so many people see through. Like
Well, that's the thing. I'm like Bud Light was not always, you know, this like super ally to the gays. Like
never not
we
once.
we were never like us and Bud Light were never like sisters.
No, and then I've seen like some gay bars like stop carrying Bud Light because they failed to like stand by their decision to support Dylan. So like
Oh, really?
yeah,
So
um,
it literally was just like an extremely brief like profit gain for them,
if ever, if at all.
if anything. Yeah.
So it's like it's this thing about like, oh, come to Saudi Arabia. It's we're pro gay, and I'm like, I don't believe you.
No.
I don't believe
Why
you.
would no? Why would you? Because
Anyway,
there's absolutely no. It's again it's a momentary profit gain for them.
yeah. Let me see. Is Dubai in?
This
It's in
Dubai,
United Arab. It's in the United Arab Emirates. I don't really know where that is, honestly.
yeah,
Because I remember
in the it's somewhere in the Middle East. That's at least
it's
I.
it's it's right next to Saudi Arabia,
It is
and
right next to.
because
Okay,
so it's not the same, but it's close enough. It's in the same area.
right.
I remember hearing stories like Jackie beat Detox and Willem going to. I think they were in Dubai as DWV,
Oh, really?
and they had to like get out of drag and like
Mm,
oh, it was a whole thing. You'd have to. It's on the Hey Queen interview that Detox did. Um,
I
it's the whole
yeah.
thing. So like I'm like I'm just you know that TikTok was like major side eye, criminal
Oh,
offensive side
bombastic.
eye,
Yeah,
bombastic. Yeah, that's
bombastic
what it
side
is.
eye. Yeah, it is bombastic side eye.
Bombastic side eye,
And
criminal offensive
speaking
side
of
eye.
bombastic side eye, let's take a
Take a
break.
break.
And welcome back. Now, normally this would be the part of the show where we jump right into our next segment, but very happy to announce that we are bringing back a segment that literally no one asked for, but we're doing it anyway because we can. And that is our 5 minute pop culture pussy pop rundown thing, title pending.
Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm.
But
Is title pending part of the title now at this point?
I think so, yeah. Just it's just the title
Just
pending
make up some
every
random
week. It's just
name.
every week. It's just going to be a new thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Title pending is
Perfect.
the only part
There,
that stays the same.
title
I love that.
pending. Where I try to run down 5 pop culture stories in 5 minutes. Let's begin. Okay, so starting off with the biggest and, in my opinion, best news of the week. We finally have a release date for Speak Now Taylor's version. This week on Friday, on May 5th, during night one in Nashville, Tennessee of the Eras Tour, during the setup for one of her surprise songs, Taylor blessed us with the news that Speak Now Taylor's version will be coming out July 7th, just like 2 days away in time for July 9th, which, for the Swifties out there, as you know, is the date that's referenced in her song Last Kiss off the Speak Now album. This will be very exciting because we can finally say goodbye to our Jake Gyllenhaal era, and now, John Mayer, I'm looking at you. Count your days. So get ready for Speak Now Taylor's version coming out July 7th. Next up, this past week, Hollywood's 15 years of labor peace was brought to an abrupt halt on Tuesday when the Writers Guild of America went on strike. Production of
Hell yeah,
many
beach.
Hell yeah. Production of many projects in Hollywood, including lots of talk shows like Fallon, Kimmel, Seth Meyers, Stephen Colbert, and many more, were stopped as the hosts of these shows stand in solidarity with their writers. In fact, Seth Meyers was quoted recently in saying, "It doesn't just affect the writers, it affects all the incredible non writing staff on these shows, and it would be really a miserable thing for people to have to go through, especially considering we're on the heels of that awful pandemic." Because he was also once a proud member of the WGA himself, because he used to write for SNL. The WGA is seeking a proposal that would gain the writers approximately $429 million per year, to which the producers are proposing something that would only gain them $86 million per year, which 48% of which is from the minimums, is only from the minimums increase. To keep up, there's a lot more details about this, but to keep up with the rest of it, check into your local news station or to social media to keep up with everything. Okay, so I'm sure, as you all know, this is like old news by now, but this past week, the Met Gala, the 2023 Met Gala happened. The theme of which was a little bit controversial because it was a tribute to famous German designer and creative director of Chanel, Karl Lagerfeld. Now, the reason this was so controversial is because Karl was a very outspoken fat phobic person. He insulted a lot of celebrities like Adele and Heidi Klum, even. But it was because of this like seemingly tribute to a bigot that there were a lot of celebrities who we were used to seeing at the Met Gala that did not appear this year. Like one of the queens of the Met Gala, in my opinion, Blake Lively and Selena Gomez. However, there was one celebrity in particular who caught a little bit of attention, and I think you, Mr. Joshua, of all people, will be you know this person.
You gotta
I'm
be more
talking
specific.
Harvey
Because there's a few
Guillen.
things. Harvey get oh, she slayed. I love that so much. That pink shit she wore.
Her outfit for the Met Gala, first
Ooh.
off, it was a flamboyantly pink like outfit, and the reason this drew so much attention was because, as I mentioned, Karl Lagerfeld is notoriously fat phobic, and Harvey is a bigger person, and he's a plus size individual, and he also wore a very pink outfit, and Carl hated the color pink. So this was like kind of a classy like middle
That back.
finger.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Carl, which I'm so here for. So, snaps to you.
Also,
Next up,
oh wait, one small
this.
thing.
Oh,
I don't know if she's actually gotten in trouble, but there's a lot of people getting mad at Doja Cat for vaping on the red carpet at the Met Gala, and they're saying that she
oh,
could be banned. I don't know if she has been banned or if anyone even cares, but people make a big deal out of it because there's like a 2-second clip of her vaping.
ugh,
I think it's stupid,
whatever.
but whatever.
Next
Anyways,
up,
next up.
so to celebrate Star Wars Day on May 4th, actress Carrie Fisher finally received her star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The ceremony featured her daughter Billie Lourd and Carrie's fellow Star Wars co-star Mark Hamill. Billie gave a touching tribute to her mother in her mother's legacy and how much Princess Leia has touched the hearts of little girls all over the world and continues to do so to this day, and how she plans to pass her love of Star Wars onto her two children in hopes that they will do the same to their children in the future. And finally, the new trailer for HBO Max's documentary on the rise of fame of the University of Alabama's Greek life called Bama Rush was recently released. We're going to get to see an in-depth look into not only how competitive the 4 rounds of Rush are at the University of Alabama, but in how like it exploded on TikTok. But we will also be seeing an in-depth look into the allegations of rampant racism and just discriminatory behavior within the recruitment there and how intense it all really is, and what this could possibly mean in terms of Greek life at the university. So be sure to catch Bama Rush on HBO Max May 23rd. And with that, we'll be right back.
And hello. Wait, I
Hi.
bring us in, right?
Yeah.
And we're back. Hey everybody, how's
Wow.
everybody doing today? Did
I'm just fantastic. Thanks so much for asking.
how are we feeling after that break? Good, refreshed, revitalized,
I feel
reformed?
worse.
Well, fuck.
Anyway,
Anyways, for our final segment of this week's episode, we are going to be so there's this Twitter trend which we love to mooch off of.
we
Um,
love Twitter.
we love Twitter, yeah. And it's like a thread that's like I was the only viewer of this show, and it's a show that like no one ever watched or wasn't as
Yeah.
popular as it could have
Or
been.
we feel like nobody ever talked about enough, and it should have gotten
Mm-hmm.
more credit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
So we're gonna talk
today,
about yeah.
we're going to talk about that.
Our picks for things that we were
Our
the sole
picks.
viewer of.
We feel like, yeah. Now, this one for me, I know that there were a lot of people, at least that this one wasn't so much of like an unknown TV show as it was more of just a show that I feel like deserved more credit
Mm-hmm.
because it raised a generation of little gay boys who felt the flamboyance and
Mm-hmm.
wanted to be everything that these ladies were. I am, of course, talking about the phenomenon Totally Spies.
I'm so happy that you
Totally,
said.
this show
Yes.
was the fiercest thing. I still watch
It
it.
holds up. It holds up.
It's available for those of you wondering. It's available on Prime Video, so if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can go watch it for free. But Totally Spies, one of the most fierce cartoons ever because it combined things that little boys were supposed to love, like spies and gadgetry and missions and action, but
Mm-hmm.
with teenage girls. And
Teenage
like
girls and wigs and makeup and like
like they had
girly
like
shit.
laser lipsticks and like the whole thing, and then like every time they'd get like sucked into their missions, it would just be like the most random, like they'd be standing in the mall, and then like all of a sudden they'd get like sucked into the fountain in the middle of the mall or something or
Yeah, yeah,
some
yeah, yeah.
shit. Like, oh my god, this show, I've never related to it when I was little. I never in my life have related to a TV show more. I
And it,
genuinely is raised me.
I don't remember their names either, but I know that they were just like those girls.
I know Alex, Sam, and then there's one more whose I'm definitely forgetting. But either way, totally Spies. So good. So it
So
this
good.
this raised the early 2000s gays.
Hmm.
Raised us.
Also, I think kind of in the same vein, a show that I picked, also a cartoon, was My Life as a Teenage Robot.
I remember that. Oh
Because
my
it's
god.
the same thing as like Jenny as like the like she's like a teen girl robot, and like there was like I remember this episode where like she had like a screw on her face. It was supposed to be like a pimple, and she was super embarrassed. But she's also like a crime fighting badass robot that fought
It's
that like roach
so
bitch. Like yeah.
it was so fierce. Like
I would say that Totally Spies is a tier of fierceness above My Life as a Teenage Robot, but
totally.
like the high school were the girls in high school? They were maybe in college?
Totally
I don't
Spies?
remember. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, they were in high school. It was just in Malibu, so like it was fancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
That
but
makes sense.
it was in Malibu. But yeah, no, My Life as a Teenage Robot. I think that was like they took like action and adventure, but also put in like teenage problems.
Also made it
With
cunty.
yeah,
Also, the opening song to that show was really good too, I remember correctly.
oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Um, okay? Did you ever like? Were your parents ever trying to make you watch like the educational cartoons? Like, did they? Did you remember? There's a show called Liberty's Kids. Now, this show,
I don't know
for
about
those of
her.
you, okay, so it was a show that focused around a group of three like teenagers who lived in colonial times, like George Washington era, like time, but it was talked about the American Revolution and like American history and like the like liberation the like all that.
Revolutionary War.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Revolutionary War, all that. But it was like these three kids were like going through it and they got to like chat with like Paul Revere and like Ben Franklin and all these, but it was trying to like, it was cartoons, but it was supposed to be educational, I guess. And I think this was like a lot of parents like compromise of like, Mom, can I watch cartoons? Sure, sweetie. How about this one? It's called Liberty's Kids, which is like, the it was like the early 2000s cartoon version of like, Mom, can I have a soda? Sure, sweetie. Have this natural stevia like Coca-Cola
Hmm.
products that has like 2 calories or some shit. Because if you were raised by like an almond mom or whatever,
Exactly.
this
Quick
was the
side note.
cartoon version of that.
That makes sense. The black cherry polar seltzers work my pussy out so fiercely.
No, they're fear. I will stand by that. I will stand by
Black
that.
cherry, it's the rest of them take it or leave it, but the black cherry one fucks me up.
The black cherry really is that girl.
She is that girl. Um, I've never saw that show, but that sounds like
Hmm.
was it like entertaining at all, or was it like just kind of like trying
I
really hard to
I
be?
only caught bits and pieces of it, but I remember it vividly. Because
Mm,
again, this was like a parents' compromise of like they wanted their kids to learn, but they also wanted to
I'd
watch
rather go.
cartoons.
I'd rather go poke at bugs in the woods. Like I'm not doing that.
Yeah, no,
At least when I was a kid,
you wouldn't catch me with that. But anyway,
wouldn't catch me dead. Um, a show that I watched, I fucking love the show when I was younger. It would be on Animal Planet in the morning.
ooh,
I have the exact name of it, and like what's so wild to me is like who the host was. Um, it was called The Planet's Funniest Animals.
The planet's funniest animals.
and it was basically it was
For a
hosted
second,
by Ki
I thought you were gonna say Zaboomafoo.
Sabufu. Oh no, that's crazy though.
Good choice.
Um,
Good choice though.
the planet's funniest animals, and basically it was like a clip show, but it's like America's Funniest Home Videos, but with like
Oh, but
animals.
with animals, okay.
But like people were submitting like
Their
tapes of like
pets or whatever
their
or
like
something.
pigs, their like farm animals, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And it's hosted by Keegan Michael Key from Key and Peele.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so funny.
So and it's so exciting. I like whenever like Key and Peele became like a big like cultural phenomenon.
Right.
Um, I was like, oh my god, that's the guy from America's Funniest Animals or whatever. And I
Yeah.
was like, does nobody else remember that? Does nobody else know that he was in there?
Like everybody knew him from Key and Peele, but you were
Yeah.
like, I know that fucker from Animal
And
Planet.
he'd be like, next up, we have Casey from Florida and her pet pig. And she has other plans for dinner. And
Oh.
it's like that. And then he goes to like the sketch comedy. It was like I feel like I was living in like the Twilight Zone or something. It was like
Watch out, Tom Bergeron.
honestly.
Um this okay. Mine is like almost all cartoons.
That's fair.
Um this was another like kind of actiony like cartoon, but I was obsessed with this show. And I feel like when I ask people about it, nobody has any idea what the fuck I'm talking about, and I'm hoping you know. Did you ever watch there's a show it was on Cartoon Network. So like
I might.
people would have seen it. It was called Shaolin Showdown.
Oh my god, with Wu Yam
This
and
the fucking like yellow headed like bald fucker with like the goddamn like
Dragon
bowling
Ball
ball
instead.
head.
Yeah. Yes.
This show
Omi.
worked my pussy out. This show
Yes.
worked my
And
pussy out.
fucking there was Raymundo, Kimiko, and Clay and Omi.
I was obsessed with them.
Oh my
I
god.
thought their dynamic was
Yes.
as a team was so funny, but it was
Mhm.
also like I was in like a ninja phase at the time. So this
We
like
all had one.
spoke to me on like an ocular level. I
Mhm.
don't know if I'm using that word right, but like
Doesn't matter. I know
whatever.
what you mean. I know what you mean.
Whatever. Shaolin Showdown. The
And
fucking yellow headed like Bart Simpson bowling ball looking ass.
damn, you're really
Like
dragging him through the mud. And
Homer
there was that like
Simpson. Oh,
that that ghost lady,
yes.
Ruya,
Oh my
and
god.
then she like got her body back and she just slayed.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
She truly worked the girls.
she gagged them, gathered them pretty fiercely. Oh my god.
Gagged,
Oh, that
scooped,
show
and
is
pooped.
gagged. And like the little like the what were the like artifacts called?
Oh god.
I don't remember. But like you had
No.
like they had, like
Oh
the way
fuck.
that like they had to like because the Shaolin Showdown was if you both touched at the same time, you had to like offer up one of yours to like in some kind of game.
Yeah.
It was like a whole thing. Oh my goodness, no! Shaolin Showdown was awesome. I don't know how that didn't like catch on more.
I cannot express how much I was obsessed with Kamiko.
Oh yeah,
Kamiko and Wuya
Kimiko and
were
Ruya were
were
those
my
girls.
favorite. And then Omi was like he I just thought he was funny. Him
Hmm.
and Clay, they were like
Oh
the fucking like dude with the cowboy hat.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was kind of I felt like it was kind of like the early 2000s version of like it almost kind of feels like a kid's like version. Are you like an anime connoisseur at all?
Yeah, yeah, some.
Um, I'm not, but like I do know this one, Cowboy Bebop.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Like it kind of feels like that a little bit. It's
I can see
giving
that.
like early 2000s Cowboy Bebop vibes.
Hmm.
So Shaolin Showdown. We're
Shout out to Shaolin Showdown.
all right. I got
I
one left.
all
So
right. I so this one might be a little too obscure because it's also Cartoon Network, but like I've seen people talk about Shaolin Showdown before, like a little bit, but I've never heard someone talk about this next one.
Mhm.
It's actually a French animated show, I'm pretty sure, and it has like
Oh.
during the CGI like era that was like really
Oh.
popping off.
Okay.
It was called Code Lyoko.
That sounds familiar.
It was like this blonde
That
guy would
sounds
like
from.
hack
Oh
into the
fuck.
computer world to
That
talk to this pink
sounds
haired bitch,
so familiar.
and they'd have to like
Odinoko.
it's
Oh yeah. I looking at this. I'm looking at it online. It looks familiar, and like I
mhm.
don't know if I ever watched it, but
I was the
this
only viewer. I was
definitely
the only viewer.
this is you were the only viewer. This is
I
it.
was.
The only
It
it
was
is on it's on Netflix for people who want to go watch it.
please, yes.
But this does look familiar. I feel like
It's
I definitely saw like commercials and stuff for this.
I don't know if it's good, and I don't know if it's rewatchable, but I remember like I remember because like there's a part where like the pink haired girl would like walk into this like pillar and she would just like ascend and then like do some like computer shit and like save the universe. It was so cool. I loved it.
Fierce. Oh, it quick like sidebar before we go into my final pick.
Hmm.
Um, I was looking at like articles of like early 2000s TV shows that you may have forgotten about. Some of the picks that these websites were choosing was appalling. Like Kim Possible,
No, we know Kim Possible.
Cyber Chase. Like, come on.
Be for fucking real.
Like all
Like
Dexter's somebody picked Dexter's Laboratory as a forgotten TV show. Like that show like launched Cartoon Network. I don't
we,
like who are these people in their forgotten TV shows?
you may have
Like
forgotten about Ned's Declassified. Like no, the fuck I
yeah,
didn't.
that was actually on one of the lists I looked at. I'm not even joking. Like I still watch Ed, and Eddie to this day. I was literally watching it this morning
I was defeated.
while I was making breakfast. I
Oh,
was literally watching like season 1 Ed, and Eddie.
it's so good. I saw a
Like
fucking Twitter thread about this girl saying like Ed and Eddie was not good, and I was like, no, no, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I will fight you to the core on that. I will
I'm
fight
sorry.
whoever wants to come
Like,
at me for Ed, and Eddie, but that show was fierce.
I think the funniest joke I've ever heard in Ed and Eddie was like, "Oh no, don't tell. Jimmy's gonna tell Sarah, and Sarah's gonna tell mom, and mom is gonna tell dad, and dad is just gonna sit there and watch TV."
Yes, yes,
That's
yes, yes.
so fucking funny. Like,
Yeah.
that's
I loved it.
some good shit.
I loved it. Okay, last one. This one is actually not a cartoon.
Mm.
Um, but it's so. Have you ever? This may be like my only viewer moment.
Oh no.
Did you ever? Have you ever heard of a show called Common Rider Dragon Knight?
No.
Ah, okay. Here we go. This is my moment. It was a show in 2008. It only had one season, but it was almost like if Power Rangers got mixed with medieval knights. Like there, if you look it up online, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
What was it called again?
Um, Common Rider Dragon Knight. Common is spelled Kamen. It was an American adapt. It was apparently originally a Japanese television series, but this is like the American version. This guy named Kit, he stumbles upon a deck of cards that kind of allows him to it's that allows him to tap into the power of the common riders, and
In the
protects his
Yu-Gi-Oh! Power
world.
Rangers.
Yeah, it was very similar to like Power Rangers, Yu-Gi-Oh, that kind of vibe. And it I don't I had like all the action figures for it. Like I was obsessed.
Hmm.
And it was very much a phase, but I'm telling you, Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, if it's out there somewhere on the internet, look it up and it will bring back so many like nostalgic memories, and I just it's so good.
So good.
But this has unfortunately brought us to the end of our wonderful episode. Thank you for reliving some fierce television with us. Some just wonderful like moments in pop culture. Some talk about Michigan. No, not Montana. Was this the this? I can't even remember my own story that I did for fucking queer.
Montana,
No, what was it?
Michigan, Missouri.
Missouri.
For what? Wait. I don't
The
know.
story that whatever. Thanks for joining us.
Maryland,
That's it. Thank you.
Maryland.
Shout out to Marilyn. Anyway, like, subscribe, rate, and review the latest and the gayest on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Radio Public. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can find all past and present episodes of the latest and the gayest available for free the day that they come out. And you can find the video episode of this week's brand new episode out the next day on Wednesday. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at TLATG Pod to stay up to date on all things the latest in the gayest. And find our link tree, which can be found in the bio of all of our socials, to not only find where you can listen to the show and what our socials are and blah, 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 but you can also find some charitable organizations that we are promoting at the moment. And with that, I gotta go watch some Totally Spies.
I honestly might actually be rewatching that just because
I think after
getting drunk
this,
and watching Totally Spies would be pretty fierce.
there we go. That's my night. I'm done. Planned.
There we go.
Done. All right, let's do it. Bye.
Wrap it up. Bye.